Is there anything else you'd like to share with me? Silence. About 10 seconds later, the probation officer continues. Is there anything else you'd like to share with me? Of course, the defendant, I learned, kind of looked to the defense attorney, who then said, no. The defendant then said, no. And the defendant then said, well, why do you ask? And the probation officer, a younger probation officer, telling me he's a little bit more engaged, probably enthusiastic about his work as a probation officer, probably not yet so sucked into the bureaucracy that is having a job as a probation officer. The probation officer said, well, I've read your plea agreement and I did a Google search of you before I came in. It's not great, as you would imagine. I'm just wondering if you have anything else you'd like to share. I received this phone call from a defendant who spent, if I told you that he spent 10 minutes preparing for the probation interview with his lawyer, that would be a gross misrepresentation, because he spent 0 minutes. He went into this interview blind, did nothing to prepare, including investing the massive amounts of time that it would take to create a narrative. Now, a number of clients and defendants have said, well, in addition to the narrative, is there anything else that I can do? That's really the purpose of this video. By now, you know I try to speak directly, honestly, to the point. You know that you should go to your probation interview with a narrative. That those that you know to do it and don't is an issue you have to reconcile. If you're afraid to hold your lawyer accountable and ask tough questions, despite what our success stories tell us, despite what federal judges have told us on YouTube, that's on you. There is a big difference between knowing what to do and doing it. So I want to educate you and guide you, but you have to do the work. You have to have these tough conversations, in some cases with a lawyer who said there's nothing to prepare for. And in this case, missed an opportunity to influence this probation officer positively, because of course they're going to Google you. Of course they're going to buy into the government's version of events. So this video is for the defendant who goes all in, who is willing to treat preparing like sentencing like a full-time job. Again, that statement, treating sentencing like a full-time job, came directly from Judge Benita Pearson, with whom I spoke on stage. She said, they should treat sentencing like a full-time job. I like sentencing videos. I think it's the wave of the future. Every judge will welcome them. I know and defendants will have done the work, and the defendant has the obligation to tell me every fracture in detail of their life. So you now know what to do. The question is, are you actually going to do it, or are you going to just watch these videos, like or dislike them, maybe share them with somebody, and then say, well, it won't work for me. That was a liberal judge. Or my lawyer won't do it, so I'm afraid, and I cower and I push back. If you look at the recent videos we put up on our channel, actual clients who obtained the shortest possible sentence in the most favorable prison, it's because they were willing to do the work, engage in some discomfort, hold people they retain, including our team, accountable, and recognize their highest value as their family and freedom. And to get there, they have to make tough decisions, like preparing for a probation interview, creating a narrative. And I'm going to provide you another opportunity to create some content. And that's why kind of the heart of this video. So this defendant who reached out to after the probation interview, to his credit, we're now going to create that narrative. It will be done in a week. Whether his lawyer is for or against it and doesn't think a narrative should go to the probation officer and only to the sentencing judge, despite what judges tell us, that's something we're going to have to reconcile. With content, with assets, we have options. So for those of you who are fully engaged, who work round the clock to prepare to earn the shortest sentence possible, who want to demonstrate that you're better, I want to provide another option to you. Another option in case the probation officer, prosecutor, judge, or somebody Googles you to demonstrate that you can change your narrative. Is my tone hostile today? I'm sorry. I care about this. I am passionate about this. And it's troubling to me when defendants know what to do and they don't do it. Whether you work with our team or not, I'm telling you what to do. Create content in your own words that demonstrate what you've learned and why you'll never return to another courtroom. If you don't do that, I have no idea why. Maybe you don't want the best outcome, or maybe you're just, I don't understand it. So I want you to get that best outcome. You're going to have to work. And for those of you who really want to invest the time, I'm going to give you something that you can do to create more content if and when they Google you. And it's inevitable they will. I'm going to do a screen share here. And I want to share, for example, a website called Quora, Quora. Quora is a very popular website where you can create content. I have been inundated and busy the last few years, and I have not had the opportunity to contribute to Quora like I'd like. But if you look at people on our team, including Michael Santos, who was a prolific writer on Quora with, I think he got more than 2 million views pretty quickly out of prison. I mean, his answers were engaging and thoughtful, and thousands of upvotes are what they're called on Quora. Really helped him continue to build his brand upon his release from serving 26 years from prison. And Michael one time suggested that I join Quora and answer some questions. Now, admittedly, I haven't answered questions for several years, but the benefits of creating content and helping people are priceless. So with Quora, this is what I encourage all of you to do. It's free because Google, of course, loves sites that produce free content for users. YouTube, which Google owns, Facebook, LinkedIn, right, Medium, Quora. These are some of the top websites in the world because they provide content for the user. So on Quora, you register. You then check off when you register things that interest you. So in my case, here it is. I checked off ethics, baseball, white-collar crime, federal prison, USC. I've answered a lot of questions about my time at USC, advice I would give to freshmen, business or psychology students at USC, managing being a student athlete while working my way into the corporate career. So you check off things that interest you. Then people are going to ask questions. You can decide if you'd like to answer the question. In answering the question, what are you doing? You're providing value. You're changing the narrative. You're sharing your expertise on a certain subject. You may be articulating how well you write or think, how you clarify your thoughts. If you're more comfortable posting videos, then post a video. I've done that with a number of questions that have been asked. And creating this content or assets can certainly influence a probation officer or judge or probation officer or prosecutor who's going to Google you because they can see that you're giving back. They can see that you're trying to educate others. And of course, when Googled, your profile will come up more quickly because it's new relevant content. So of course you need a personal narrative without question. For those that want to go above and beyond and who are willing to do the work, a site like Quora is an excellent example, and you have no idea what could come from it. For example, I spent 15 minutes on my iPhone while holding my daughter many years ago, answering a question, what is the most corrupt thing you've witnessed at your workplace? 15 minutes, no edit post. And surprisingly, an answer like that got 460,000 views with nearly 4,000 upvotes and hundreds of really favorable, refreshing comments about my journey and what I do to help people. Answering this question in 15 minutes came to the attention of a compliance officer in an accounting firm just outside of Manhattan. That helped lead to a 5-figure speaking event. I'm not telling you the blog or the answer led to the speaking event. It led to them finding me and researching me and looking into my other events and what I've done on my client list. But it all started by reading a question on Quora. What is the most corrupt thing you've ever witnessed? And I said, this could provide value to someone. Maybe this could help someone. So in a matter of 15 minutes, I wrote, 15 years later, it is still embarrassing and shameful to discuss, but here it goes. Not only did I witness it, I helped facilitate it. And I talked a little bit about my story. So I encourage all of you, if you're looking to create assets, if you are looking to change the narrative in advance of sentencing, to think creatively, to be proactive, to use all of your critical thinking skills, and think, how do these people judge me? How do they view me? And all they have right now is your Department of Justice press release or your plea agreement or what they make Google or what other people are saying about you. So if you have yet to be sentenced and you're willing to do the work and you know what to do, I beseech you, I beg you, I implore you to get creative, to think differently. And if those in your network are against it, that's okay, because they don't know what it's like to be a convicted felon. They don't know what it's like to think about the pain and agony and stress of a criminal case 24 hours a day. I know it's all you think about. I know it's difficult to sleep. I know some days it's difficult to brush your teeth and get out of bed. I understand it. But if you're willing to do the work on these days where it's easier to do something else, if you're willing to have tough conversations and hold people you hire accountable, if you're willing to work on days you may think nobody cares and it won't matter, if you're willing to do that, not only will you get a better sentence, you'll be changing the narrative. And that's long after sentencing, well after sentencing, because this content will remain and then you can build upon it. and then you're growing your new network. So that's how I'm going to close. If you want to change the narrative, you got to get creative. You have to think, I do not ever want to get another phone call from a defendant who was total deer in the headlights when asked by the probation officer at the end of the interview, is there anything else you'd like to share? Silence. You cannot expect silence or turning the other way or lack of preparation to help ensure you get the shortest sentence. So you know what to do. The question is, will you do it? And if you'd like our assistance, by now you know you can schedule a call with our team. By now you can call or text me, and I'm going to be responsive. But whether our team helps you or not, change the narrative, create assets, get creative, and have some fun on a site like Quora. Answer some questions, provide value, give back. It's probably no different from what you've done throughout your whole life anyway. We just need to continue to do it while you're traversing this journey. It will make you feel better. You'll live more authentically. You'll have a sense of value and self-esteem in helping others. Oh, and by the way, we'll probably help get you a shorter federal prison sentence. Subscribe if you like these videos. I hope to return soon. Thank you so much. Goodbye.